Welcome back, everybody. I think you'll agree with me, we've seen some amazing things that are coming to the ArcGIS platform in terms of functionality. What we want to do now is dive a little bit deeper and look at how we develop using our APIs and SDKs and our tools as we work with this functionality that we're busy building back in Redlands. It's not just about working with APIs and SDKs. It's really about the complete developer experience. And we've been working on improving all aspects of developer experience, and we'd like to share that with you. And David's going to take us through some demonstrations. David.
Great. Thanks, Euan. As Euan mentioned, when you develop your solutions, it's not just about working with an API. It's about working with a great SDK, an SDK that's got extensive conceptual and API help, that's got a ton of focused samples that can inspire you, and it's got a community of developers whom you can collaborate with. And you can experience all this in the developer site. Now, we've made some significant changes to the developer site that we think you'll love. The site is now the one place that you will go regardless of how you're developing with the platform. So, you're building applications. You can get access to information about our JavaScript API or any number of our native SDKs. Or perhaps you want to kickstart your app development with one of our builders, Web App Builder or App Studio. If you're extending the platform, the developer site is now where you can go. You'll find information on extending Pro using the new Pro SDK by building add-ins, or perhaps extending Server using SOIs or SOEs, and even extending the apps that we provide, like Dashboard, using the JavaScript to extend Dashboard. As Dean mentioned earlier, we have a set of rich content that you can use. It's scalable, it's curated, it's authoritative, and the developer site is also the place where you'll get at that content. But it's not just our content that you can use in your applications, it's also content that has been contributed by others through our open initiative. And here to tell us more about that open initiative, please welcome Andrew Turner. Andrew.
Thanks, David. Appreciate that. We launched ArcGIS Open Data as a simple way for organizations to share out their authoritative for developers to find and use and build awesome apps on using a lot of the tools that you're seeing today. Since we launched it, over 40,000 data sets have been shared, parcels, land use data, air quality data. It's been a pretty amazing response. We're pleased to show you today some of the upcoming improvements we're making to that to really help you as developers both discover and find content or make your content available to your community of developers, as well as build apps for that community of data providers as well. So we're building a simpler experience now to start easier customizing these open data pages. Starting out with a basic open data page, I can now brand it, give it a logo, save it and preview it. So that's pretty easy. But now I actually want to give it some styles and themes to it as well. I'm actually choose my primary branding color here. I happen to know the hex code. Apply that, save it, and publish it. And now I have my customized site ready to go. We're extending this even further. Within this site, we also want to make it easy for people to understand and explore the data and the API behind it. Vision Zero is a global initiative to reduce pedestrian fatalities to zero in cities and communities. So I'm really interested as a developer to use my time to maybe build apps to help out my city. But I've never maybe perhaps used the ArcGIS platform before. So we're building now a GeoServices API Explorer that allows people to start discovering and learning the API. Behind this is one API across all services, but this gives a very focused view into that API so people can learn about the spatial filters, the attribute filters, and so on, and then teaches them the query structure over time, as well as they can get that JSON response from this to see what that looks like. Really start exploring the possibilities that they might want to pull into their JavaScript mobile or desktop applications they want to build. We're also extending that even a little bit further and providing customized views into these APIs that organizations haven't published through the ArcGIS platform that feel like their systems. So we have the APIs documented. We have a number of open source codes and tools for visualization that developers in these communities can use. And we're also starting to define a new pattern in which you can provide a common theming across all of these applications. Using Bootstrap, which is a very common CSS framework, we can then automatically pull that styling into the custom applications that you're going to build and deploy, and automatically inherit that styling from that central organization. So in this case, it looks like a Washington, D.C. application, and even the vector tile base map is going to inherit that styling. I can now go back to my branding and maybe say we've changed our branding to instead be a more primary blue with a secondary white color. Apply, save, publish. You can see immediately my application changed. My documentation page changed. And also, each of the apps that I've deployed or anyone in my community has deployed also automatically get that styling and information, even down to the custom base map and thematic data on it. So make it really easy to maintain that branding. We also understand that amongst all these apps being built out there, it's really important to not just share the data, but also share the applications that are built with them. So we're introducing something called connected content, in which the applications you build for your community or with your community can then be shared back to that organization so it can be discovered by other developers and users. And so next time they visit that data set, they can take your app and do something amazing with it as well. So thank you for checking this out. We hope to talk to you more this week. Back to you, David.
Great. Great. Thank you, Andrew. That was a great demo. Thank you. So in addition to the developer experience that we've been discussing, we're also improving the way that you get our developer tooling. So right now, you get our developer tooling in one of two ways. You have an EDN subscription, or perhaps you have a subscription from the developer site. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the best of both of those subscriptions, and we're going to be putting it in one brand new subscription. And that new subscription is going to improve accessibility and delivery. It's also going to be the one subscription that you will do regardless of how you develop with the platform. So one subscription with many plans. If you're an app developer that uses the APIs and SDKs, we'll have a plan for you. If you use the builders, we'll have a plan for you. And if you extend the platform, we'll have a plan. So we've got plans tailored for you. So we're really excited about this new developer subscription.